What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unplayable. We got the whole gang here, and we're going to be talking more Star Wars Unlimited spoilers because it's a new day, and there's apparently new...
he's as excited as we are, and our viewers are.
That's right. I'm
Spoiler
not even going to cut that
season.
out. Everybody's pumped. So let's talk about the first card that we've got, which is Fenx Shand. Fenx Shand is a 7-cost yellow ground unit, 4/6 underworld with ambush, and on attack deal 1 damage to the defender if it's a unit for each different cost among cards in your discard pile. Jay, I'm going to hit you first.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so I actually think this card is maybe a little bit better than people are giving it credit for. I think this dude can do some really interesting things. It's obviously compared to Han, but one of the cool things is that this can be played in villain decks, so it gives a kind of Han type unit for yellow villain. It can also ping shields before it swings in, which is nice. I think there's a lot, like, obviously you have to play a very specific deck where you have multiple different types of costs. So the cost of building towards this might not be worth what the unit is. Just playing Han unit might be better because then you don't have to worry about doing that. But there are some cool interactions with playing the Han leader where you get to choose what goes into your discard pile when you're discarding off of the Han resource and trying to get those cards that will line up well with this. Obviously, it basically has a higher ceiling than Han unit, but it also has a lower floor than Han unit, and it costs 7. So if you're playing something for 7, you want it to be really good. So
For sure.
We'll just have to see, in my opinion.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think, my first thought was, Fenx Shand. I didn't even look at the aspect and assumed she was a hero, which she's not. So I think that's important to note. Although it did make me excited to think about a double yellow Han deck that has both Han Solo, Fenx Shand, and 3 copies of Cunning, because it's an amazing card. So it's like the one color no one's really... I feel like Han is being tested in all the different colors right now except for yellow, and so maybe this could create some yellow Han decks. But
Totally.
she is uncommon, and she costs 7. I think she's actually pretty solid for a neutral card, because we usually see the neutral cards not be as strong as the villain or hero locked cards. So I think she's strong. I don't think she's amazing by any means, but I think with the Underworld tag, we're seeing lots of Underworld stuff coming. I think she could be interesting with cards we haven't even seen, probably.
I'm just thinking of like how good the Boba Fett unit is, just having the ability to deal 3 before taking any damage back, and the fact that this can realistically come in, just pop something off the board the turn it's played, not take any damage, and then you have a 4/6 unit out that could then continue to do that. So it gets around Sentinel really well. I love that it can kind of clear unit that's just absolutely eating your lunch. I think Boba Yellow is going to like this, even if it's a little bit maybe too late. I'd still want to try to see if it might use something like this to like keep a hold of the late game.
I really like this card. I think, for one, David, you mentioned that it enables Yellow Han a little bit better, and I think that's true, and I'm really excited for that. But I also agree with Jim where like this is it's a unit that even if you're not killing your opponent's like highest health unit, you have a good chance of being able to kill something and survive when this enters play. And it's still a 4/6 that sticks around that continues to keep doing this for the rest of the game. And, if you deal a little bit of damage to like your opponent's leader or something like that, and you have like 4 damage left to deal, you got 4 different costs in your discard pile, this can just come in and snipe somebody's leader. You don't have to do it from like, full health to nothing. You can sort of chip away at whatever you want to throw this at eventually. I think like the 6 health is pretty strong. I think that just overall, I'm pretty excited about this card. I do think it's pretty good. I'm surprised that it's uncommon. It feels like it should be higher than that, but
at least a rare, yeah.
Major bomb and limited for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be huge.
If they ever do drop something that's like a Sentinel with 10 health, this is probably something that's really useful into that, because it deals the damage plus its strength, which Han doesn't do. So like if you have 6 different things, you can ping for 6 and hit for 4, which is cool.
And there are many ways to get cards in your discard pile, right? There's like Han Leader himself. You can choose what cards get discarded. You can just play cards, play events, and they get discarded immediately. So like, I don't think that the condition is really that hard to meet. You probably on average get like 3 to 5 damage off with this, but that's significant.
And even just 3 kills most leaders, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next card on our list, which is a leader. David, I know you have a lot to say about this one. This is Bossk. So Bossk is a red villain leader with the action exhaust, deal 1 damage to a unit with a bounty. You may give it +1/+0 this phase. And if you control 5 or more resources, you deploy this leader. And on the unit side, Bossk is a 4/6 underworld bounty hunter. And when you collect a bounty, you may collect that bounty again. Use this ability only once each round. So, David, I'm gonna throw it to you.
First of all, I love Bossk in the game. Like, I think I was so sad in Star Wars Destiny when the Bossk leader was just not good. Like, no one played Bossk. He was terrible. Then we got Bossk unit in set 1, and the Bossk unit is an absolute beast. So I'm hoping that Bossk leader can do work. I think the first thing is, okay, his leader side is conditional and sometimes will be blank, which kind of sucks. We've seen that with like Hera. Well, Chirrut's been okay, but a lot of times it's just blank. It doesn't do anything. So I'm always a little suspicious of leaders that have a side that could just be nothing. But of course, this could be an easy way to just do. If I'm very confused about what bounties are going to look like. Like, are there going to be decks with 6 to 9 bounties, and you're playing them so regularly that this is always triggering? I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a thing. On his unit side, I think him coming out at 5 immediately. You compare it to IG-88, who comes out at 5, and he's a 5/4. He comes out at 5 as a 4/6. I think a 4/6 is so much better than 5/4. Like, yeah. It's just
plus.
Yeah, I'll take that difference in a heartbeat.
You can play this Bossk and the other Bossk on the same turn. That's pretty fun.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
You just live the Bossk dream.
Yes, but this unit side, when you collect a bounty, you may collect the bounty again. Sounds really fun, and we've seen a couple bounties. I think we're going to talk about one today. It's like, oh wow, that could be really spicy. So. Yeah, I like that he's out of takedown range, out of, the typical 5 health stuff. So,
yeah,
awesome.
It's so hard for me to evaluate this card until I see like what work bounties can do, because I've seen stuff like this not work as well in other games, but this one you're drawing 2 cards, so to play something and then play a bounty doesn't seem nearly as bad, and so I'm excited. I think a Bossk deck could be really cool and just like kind of control the game pretty well. So yeah, I think it'd be sweet.
I love that it's a free action. Anytime I see a free action, I'm actually like really happy. One, because you can just tap
even
it.
With Jin?
Even with Jin. Because it's always a free soft pass without getting punished.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
And then, deal 1 damage for free? That seems really strong. Now, obviously, you have to be playing bounties, or your opponent has to be playing units with bounties. Does this immediately make those units worse? I don't know. Depends on if this is a leader that we see a lot of. But yeah, I think double collecting on bounties is pretty sick, especially with some of the ones we've seen. So I'm down with trying this guy, see if he's any good.
I think the front ability is super interesting because you can target your own units if they have bounty. So like you could play your Dr. Evazan, like ping off the shield and deal 4 to something. I do like it. I think it's cool. And there are, we've seen some bounty cards specifically. We've seen some units that have bounty on them that are really good. And then we're going to see one later, obviously, that David alluded to that is, maybe one of the coolest interactions with this card in general. So. All right. Does anybody else have anything to say about this one? All right, we're moving on.
Wait for the Twin Suns Bossk IG-88 pairing.
I love it.
Oh, gosh.
You can go super deep on bounty hunters now, which is pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah.
We just need more bounty hunter synergy cards.
Let's go.
All right, speaking of bounty hunters, we've got Chain Code Collector, which is a 4-cost yellow ground unit. It's a 4/2 underworld bounty hunter with ambush. On attack, if the defender has a bounty, it gets -4, -0 for this attack.
Anytime I see 4 damage, I'm comparing it to Open Fire as like just a staple red card. So any sort of bounty deck, I really like this. It feels like an easy clear, plus you'll get to claim the bounty more than likely with the 4 damage and keep a 4/2 on the board. That seems like pretty sweet synergy if you're already playing into bounties. I think if it's not like the main focus of your deck, I don't think you'll be playing this, but there's not a ton of like deal damage out of yellow. So I think ambush cards are just better in yellow because of that. And I do like that it's not hero or villain, so you have the flexibility.
But Jim, there's another 4-cost yellow card you could be playing called Don't Get Cocky, and you can do damage.
That's right.
Like with your deck.
I'm really sorry, I forget
card.
that card exists.
at the same cost.
I must be too cocky. That's on me.
Jay, what are your thoughts on this guy?
Obviously, 2 health is trash. Ugly. You got make an opening, makes this real bad. But it does kill pretty much almost all 3 costs that are played right now. So like I'm thinking your opponent plays an Ezra, you play this guy, you get to kill it without taking any damage back. Freedom Fighters. I mean, there's so many 3 costs that are just like 3/4s that you can play this into without dying, which is actually kind of sweet. But the 2 health is brutal. I think it'll be a sideboard card because of that 2 health. Like if you're playing against blue and you think they're playing make an opening, you don't want to have this.
Do this for sure.
Yeah. But if you're playing against Sabine, this is probably a pretty sick card to bring in.
Yep.
So, I mean, swinging for 4 is sweet.
Yeah, and potentially not dying back.
Yeah.
Again, it's so hard to evaluate without seeing all of the bounties in this set. So I'm just so curious. But so I'm just thinking, is the value there if there's no bounties? If you don't play bounties or the bounties, you don't draw them, or I think it's probably still valuable. I think paying 4 for 4 damage in a color that doesn't have damage out of hand, like Jim said, like compared to open fire, paying 1 more than you would, it's probably fine. I don't know. I think it's probably better than average, but I don't know how much better.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of Bossk in a weird way, where the unit Bossk, like it comes in, ambushes something for 4, and like sticks around with a couple health left over. In like the best case scenario, right? Like when your opponent does have a bounty and you get to hit that thing, and that's the thing that you want to hit, and it costs 1 less. So like I think when things lined up, this will be pretty good. The power level of this card is almost entirely just based on whether or not bounties are in the meta, right? Because I think just like if you ignore the on attack ability, just like a 4/2 ambush for 4 is like
It's bad.
It's okay, but it's not like horrible. It's not exciting.
I think it's just bad.
It's not exciting, yeah.
And we're looking at it from the lens of Premier, because in Limited, I think this
Sure.
card is disgusting.
Yeah.
Because of how
Yes.
much bounty synergy.
Yes. Very, very good. And just ambush in that format in general is very, very strong.
Totally agree.
And removal. So that's Chain Code Collector. We're going to move on to Rose Tico.
Hey,
Rose Tico, from everybody's favorite Star Wars movie, is a 4-cost 2/6 blue hero. That actually is my favorite Star Wars movie. So
I can't wait to see the comment section. You just started a wildfire, Coach.
I just started a war. I think I saw Last Jedi like 8 times in the theater. All right. This is a 4-cost blue hero ground unit. It's a 2/6 resistance shielded. And on attack, you may defeat a shield token on a friendly unit. If you do, give 2 experience tokens to that unit.
Is this sweet with the Luke deck?
Oh, yes, it is.
Very sweet.
I don't think you can build around it though. Like if you ever just build around the card like this, then like you're setting yourself up for failure. But I think it just slots into a Luke deck because
It's
you're
just
naturally
good, right?
giving shields, right?
Yeah.
And it's like if you're playing vigilances, you're giving out shields or
True.
Moment of peace,
anything like
baby.
that. Moment of peace. I mean,
Also good.
playing units that already have shields, like the heal tank, whatever it's called, cargo juggernaut, and like the wilderness fighter and stuff like that. Just natural shielded. This is pretty sweet.
3 cost 4/6 is insane.
It can do it for itself, yeah.
Well, I'm
4/8,
saying, well, but the wilderness fighter, I think that's the 2/4 shielded, right?
Yeah,
For 3. So when Rose comes out, gets to attack, that becomes a 4/6.
Yeah,
like,
this you can
Yeah, that's
do it on
pretty
on herself too.
Yeah, if you have
Become a
ECL,
4/8.
you can ECL this in as a 4/8, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think Danny in the article they released said he likes the weird decision making your opponent has to make. Because like, do you ping the shield off so that next round she doesn't become a 4/8, or do you like I don't want to waste this attack into a shield?
Yeah,
She's a big unit, like 4/8 for
Yeah.
4 essentially. Like, I that's really strong. I think like in the Luke deck, this is better than Kanan. I think.
Yeah, because Kanan's the 4/5. You obviously got some healing to do. I was even thinking like Jabba is a 4-cost 2/8, but he can't. He gets the stuff, but he can't get bigger than that. At least right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing could be an absolute tank of a unit.
If you keep shielding her up somehow too, like she can get bigger and bigger and bigger if she sticks to the board.
Outside of like the Luke leader attacking and the like 1-cost event, are there other like easy ways to give shields or not yet?
Vigilance or
Oh, true.
Yeah, Vigilance is a
Just
good one.
Units that already have them, pretty much.
Okay. Because if there's another like engine kind of that works the same as the Luke leader, I mean, this thing is just gonna get so gross.
So like turn 5 resource turn, you're playing Luke. You ECL this in, and then you
then you
shield
shield her
it
back
with
up.
Luke.
Yay.
And then the next turn you attack again, and it gets
That's what's
bigger
up.
again.
6'10".
That's what's up.
Wow.
I dig
Then
it.
you
That's
play
meta.
Vigilance. You heal 6 or 5
Give her
or
another
whatever.
shield.
Give her another shield. Attack again.
Yep.
I do like this changes the way that we build Luke, because Luke has kind of been the mid control of the hero side of things, and I think this kind of tempo style could be really cool to see like how that deck is built in the future.
It's just
Yeah.
going to be interesting because she doesn't have the rebel tag, and we're so used to playing with so many rebel units that you can't just wing leader this. You
a
can't
crutch.
free lieutenant it. Yeah.
I agree with you, Jay. I think like we're gonna have to quickly
Get away from
reframe
that.
our view of the game after this set, because I mean we haven't seen almost any rebels or Imperials in this set. So
I, for one, welcome our new Rose Meta Lord. Okay?
It's interesting
I'll
that
sell my wing leaders. All
like
right?
all popular hero decks are always doing the rebel synergy 100% of the time, but not all of the villain decks are doing Imperial synergy.
Yeah,
in fact,
it is
most
interesting.
of them are
Very
not
few.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very few.
Like you don't see Veers, even though Veers is better than Dodonna in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're not seeing Veers. We're seeing Snowtrooper Lieutenant just because of his effect with like Vader legendary
Vader.
unit.
Yeah.
It's like we don't see hardly any Imperial stuff compared to the
Yeah.
Rebels.
Get your black ones ready, right, Mike?
yeah, that's right. That's right. So it's
right.
resistance resistance time. All right, we're moving on to Moisture Farmer, guys. Very exciting here. We've got a 1-cost blue ground unit. It's a 0/4 fringe. There's your fringe synergy, everybody. A restore 2.
That's right.
Wow.
All right.
I'm going to throw a Jedi lightsaber on this so fast. Turn 2.
Not a Jedi.
The cringe synergy.
Yeah, I mean, anything to say about this? It's interesting. I don't know.
I mean, it's a
where
one
does this
cost that
fit?
has 4 health, so it doesn't die as easily to something they play. But like, do I really
It's still
ever
just,
want to play
like-
this?
It's like,
don't
yeah,
know.
because it could heal you for 8-ish, potentially. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe if it's just the sustained heal meta is what you're trying to do. Because it's like, if they have to put in 4 damage, it's 4 damage that's saved from your base. But, like, I don't want to play it.
Play 2 of
It's
these
just-
round 1. There you go. Nailed it.
Oh, game over. But I'm just like, it's only if we desperately need healing in blue, which they're already doing pretty well. I don't think on a 4 health unit is what I'm wanting.
Sorry, coach. I think this is trash.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm having a hard time figuring out where this fits. I think like it's still so easy for your opponent to just kill it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe what David said is the way that the route you take, and you just like load this up with a lightsaber or something and
That's
hit
right.
for
Hey,
like a 3/7
Yeah,
or whatever.
This is the Mandalorian set. Who knows what kind of upgrades we can
Wouldn't
throw
you
on
rather
this?
just have like a 1/4 though, like
Like
regional,
R2?
R2 or regional governor or something? I guess you play
David's
R2
gonna-
and this, and when they kill one of them, you lightsaber the other one. I don't know.
I'm going to put devotion on this. I'm going to start slapping your
God.
base for 1 and restoring 4 every round. Okay?
I was over here thinking
All
you're
right,
gonna put a
David
dark
cracked
saber
it.
on it. So
David cracked it. We're moving
Back
on to the
one,
next
pick
card.
one.
We've got Top Target. Top Target is a 1-cost blue upgrade. Attached unit gains bounty, heal 4 damage from a unit or base. If this unit is unique, heal 6 damage instead. And +0/+0 to bounty.
just play Moisture Farmer if you're trying to heal. What are we doing?
Right?
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah. I mean, this is pay 1, heal 6. Moisture Farmers pay 1, heal as much as you want.
Heal
because it's
infinite
never
damage.
dying.
Infinity.
This card is pretty cool, actually. I do like it gives the bounty tag to something. There's so much bounty synergy already that you want those tags on there. And yeah, the healing when you need it most is pretty sweet.
I have
David?
2 thoughts.
Yeah.
One, on the fun side, this makes Chirrut even more unkillable. I can heal 6 from my Chirrut after getting all the
True.
damage. Number 2, I'm absolutely terrified of this card after we just came out of this Vader Blue couple of weekends, where they
Yep.
can slap this for 1
Yeah.
and then just do
Heal
all of their
6.
removal and heal 6. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
It's
tough.
Like,
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'm very worried about this card.
This card
Or
seems
put it in Bossk,
insane.
heal for 12.
This, yeah. That's a true, like, that's a real thing you can do.
Yeah. No more Vader. just literally put Bossk in Vader's spot and see what happens.
Yeah, this is insane, right? Like, people are already playing Repair as like heal 3 for 1.
Yeah.
Like, this is better than that already in a deck that's already killing literally every unit that your opponent has. And then you also have the option to heal for 6.
Like, going into resource 8 turn, let's like you play 3 of these super laser blast, heal for 18. Like, dude, are you kidding me?
I'm gonna be main decking 3 confiscates.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
This is gosh.
People are gonna need some upgrade hate, because this is like, I don't think we can overstate how much sustain this means. It's truly crazy.
So disabling Fang Fighter's already been in a lot of sideboards, and I think it's about to get moved to a main board
For sure. Yeah.
kind of card.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have anything else to add to this? I think it's just like a nuts card.
It's really good.
Yeah. Very good.
Let's move on to Sundari Peacekeeper.
Oh, let's go.
This card's sweet. It's a 3-cost green hero ground unit. It's a 1/5 Mandalorian trooper with raid 2 and restore 2.
Just read those stats again. 3 cost,
Yeah.
1/5 with raid 2 and restore 2.
Restore 2. Yep. It's that's a lot of stats.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Moisture Farmer, and you're giving it +1/+1 and raid 2 for an extra 2 cost. I don't know if it's worth it, Coach.
Hey,
This
this Peacekeeper can't even kill a Moisture Farmer. Okay, it takes it 2 turns.
I love this card. I think it's sweet. I think obviously ECL with this card is going to be really cool, just to go ahead and kill something, heal 2, some really good trades going there. The one attack early on for them attacking back into it doesn't feel great, but I think everything else it's doing is really good.
This goes right into my Churret green deck I've been cooking up, folks.
Oh, there
Slides
it is.
right into it.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I'm already, like, this doesn't go in a deck where you care if they hit it, that it only does 1 damage back, because you're just trying to control the board and heal and place, like, you're playing Sentinels probably because you're already in green. You got your Steadfast, or not Steadfast, your Homestead Militia out there. You got your Echo-based Defender Diddy out there. You're healing, you're swinging, you control the board. This guy's great.
I kind of like this in like a Mandalorian like aggro deck. Almost like its stats are like surprisingly aggressive for being a Peacekeeper. It's like
5
a
health.
3-cost 3/5. It's gonna stick to the board for a while. Every time it attacks, it's gonna deal that 3, and it's gonna restore you. So if you're like in an aggro mirror or something like that, it's basically like a 4 health swing or a 5 health swing where you're dealing 3 and you're restoring 2. It helps you win the race because you're healing back up. So I think that this card is really sweet.
You know what makes it even sweeter though?
What?
Tell me.
Devotion.
Yep. Give it devotion, baby.
Restore 4, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. Give it a lightsaber. Give it
Just
devotion.
swing.
Give it an electro staff.
Do y'all put this in your Green Sabine deck or no? I'm like, in the mirror matchup, that restore 2 is gonna like almost win you every single one of those.
It could be pretty impactful. It's hard for me to imagine what that
Rebel
deck
Assault,
is going to look like in the future. Yeah, with the fact that this is not a rebel and like the entire deck right now is built around rebels.
Right.
But I feel like there's some home for this. It's just like the stats are just too good, I think.
If you go purely based on like value, like this game, I don't think you can do that like you can in Flesh and Blood, where it's like 2 card 7, 2 card 8. It's like the terms people use for like using values. The straight up value of this card being is 3, like basically 3 costs for 5/5 stats in a way, which is insane.
If you're you're like each restore
if you turn
is
your
like
head sideways and like cross your eyes a little bit, I can see it, but
I don't know how else to put it besides talking about, like, without getting
yeah.
technical.
I understand what you're saying.
Like the value on stats on this is like out of this world.
Tons of value for sure. All right, let's move on to the next card, which is Dangar.
Yeah.
Dangar is a 1-cost red villain ground unit. So he is a 2/2 underworld bounty hunter, and when you play an upgrade on a unit, you may deal 1 damage to that unit.
David,
So
Very shocked to see this as a 1 cost. It just feels like Dangar is a big dude with like, he wrestles
just all the
Chewbacca.
guns.
Like I'm like, it doesn't seem like a. I think of 1 cost as the Moisture Farmer, not Dangar. So
he has arguably worse stats than Greedo.
yeah.
Yeah.
A little underwhelming. I don't know.
Jim?
Enables Vader's ping.
He kills Greedo though. If you
He
play
does.
this and then you play,
And then Greedo kills back.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say it feels like a turn 1 play that I'm okay with, but it's like going to help me trade into what they're doing on turn 1 rather than like really controlling the board. So if the ping synergy gets like really popular, I would love to see an effect like this on not a unique unit that you could potentially like stack a couple things, but since Dangar is unique, like again, with the whole bounty synergies, I need to see it play out on a table before I can really evaluate like how strong is that ping damage going to be.
Sure.
oh, I'll play a villain deck where I'm like Dengar, Benthic, 2 tubes, turn 1, and then just like bounty people up and hit.
Go
for
super
a million.
aggro. I do like that it's 1 cost. We've seen one, I think, one cost bounty and 1 0 cost bounty. So you can play those turn 1 after you play this, which is, I don't know. It's interesting. It's worth thinking about. The other thing that I like about it is that it's a 1 cost Underworld card, so it pairs with McClunky. You know, turn 1, you can do this, McClunky, use your Boba Fett to ready a resource and play this back. So,
Oh yeah, we figured out the math.
We figured that
after
out.
the video.
The most obvious interaction.
After the 5-minute, 35-second dissertation.
We were just too excited. But like, I think that there are some cool things that you can do with this. It'll depend on, you know, what upgrades you want to put on your opponent's units, I guess. Another fun sort of tricky way to use this is you can play an upgrade on your own unit with grit and deal it a damage. Give it an extra power. That won't come up very often, but when it does, you'll feel cool.
But you can.
So, yeah,
That's
all right.
cool.
That's Dangar. We're moving on to Dangar Ship, which is Punishing One, 3 cost, red villain space unit. It's a 3/4 underworld vehicle transport. When an upgraded enemy unit is defeated, you may ready this unit. Use this ability only once each round.
I think this is pretty cool. It's a slower Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than Falcon, but you also don't have to pay the tax, which is kind of nice. But it is kind of a slower Falcon, right? So it's like you play this, and then you kill something, and then you get to ready it, and then attack. It's not going to go into an aggro deck, though, because like Falcon is... You don't have to worry about killing something. You just like get to play it and swing. So this doesn't fit the same role I think that Falcon does, where like Falcon is just like all gas. This is like you play it
Play it
for
and hit
like
for 3.
just good just good stats. Like play it, kill the thing, and then with the bounty ready it, kill something in space. It is good stats for space unit though, like 3 cost 3/4. We've seen that Falcon is really hard to deal with, so I assume this will be too.
Yeah, there's not a lot that lines up into this all that well that we've seen so far at this cost.
And there's so many like 3 health space units that this thing just eats. And so that's just good on its own. You don't have to like combo this 12 different times with Keep Fightings and Grand Inquisitors for it to be good.
You can ECL this into an A-Wing that's been upgraded. Like you put a bounty on their A-Wing, you ECL this into it, and then you ready it. And you kill their other A-Wing or something like that. Could
But
be pretty sweet.
but how would you get the A-Wing has 3 health as it is? So if it's upgraded,
Well, like if you put a bounty on it.
oh, you put a bounty. Yeah. I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
experience or something.
Yeah.
Like if they wing leader. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
something like that could be cool.
We have to evaluate every card within the realm of ECL.
Yes. if we don't mention ECL compared to every other card, then like what are we even doing?
Every evaluation. Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to Price on Your Head, which is a 2 cost green upgrade. Attached unit gains bounty. Put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. Maybe the spiciest
The ramp bounty
we've seen so far. I don't know. The other one was pretty spicy too, but this is ramp is always exciting.
If you've got Bossk out, you get the ramp twice.
Double ramp. That's the,
Let's go.
there it
That
is.
is the dream right there.
Yeah, that's the first one I thought of when I saw Bossk with it. I'm like, that's the dream pairing. Although I mean, he comes out at 5. He comes out pretty early, so you really got to be ramping into your big green ships at the end.
Yep.
But
Which is pretty sweet though.
You play this the following turn, like on your 4 resource turn with a 2 cost. You flip Bossk, you ECL Steadfast Battalion, you put 2 things into your thing, and then you're gonna be on 8. Easy.
Nailed it.
Perfect. Amazing.
I do like that it gives heroes access to what Super Laser Tech has basically been for villains.
Yeah.
It feels like there's not the same kind of ramp that villain green decks have so far.
They're still not, because villains also get this now.
I know. But a price
But
on your head
helps,
would
it
not be a
helps.
good hero card.
Yeah. No, it helps for sure, because
Yeah.
now you can play 3 resupply and 3 of these if you like really want to ramp as a hero deck.
Any capture deck, I want this in there for sure, because that's going to be a little bit easier to always plan out of like how to capture their unit, where sometimes killing can get a little bit tricky. But I think that is just an auto include in there.
I like, this is not really related to what the card does, but I like that all of the bounty cards have like sort of like the bounty sort of like holo projector thing that they're all holding, and shows like who's on the bounty. I like the way that they represented these, so good job to, I'm guessing, Tyler. All right, anything else about this card? I mean, it's pretty simple, but like ramp's good, right?
Ramp's good.
You can play this turn 1, and then power the dark side of your opponent's unit on turn 2 or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Open fire. Like, it seems like a pretty reliable
Well,
way to ramp.
If your opponent goes first, they play a guy. You play
Yeah,
this,
power the dark side would
and
work,
then power the dark
potentially.
side. They probably play a character and then kill that one. Maybe I don't know. Maybe
Maybe.
you're happy with that anyway, because they're killing their 3 costs instead of their 2 costs.
True.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got one more card to talk about, which was revealed while we were doing
Live.
this.
While we were
so
live.
That card is the Armorer.
Let's go.
And the Armorer is a 5-cost blue hero ground unit. Obviously, she's a Mandalorian. 3/5. When played, give a shield token to each of up to 3 Mandalorian units. So 5 cost 3/5. They can give up to 3 shields. And she counts herself. So she can give herself a shield at the very least. At worst, this is a 5 cost 3/5 with a shield.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Rose Tico turn 3.
I was gonna say Rose.
Armorer turn 4. Swing with Rose. You already see it.
Nailed it.
But like the mid-range like tempo style thing is kind of coming together, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
And it works with Mandalorian leaders, which is nice, that come out on 5 or 4. Like, I'm pretty sure they have that on Sabine, that Mandalorian trait on Sabine.
Yeah.
So you can flip on 4, and then next turn play this, shield the Armorer and Sabine.
That's pretty sweet.
Or as we've seen, Bo-Katan is also a Mandalorian. Din Djarin, or the Mando. It works with all of those, which is cool.
Yeah, that's really sweet. Shielding up leaders
even
is
just
powerful.
getting 2, even getting just 2 shields, I think, is value enough. It's going to be hard to have 3 Mandos on the board at the same time against some decks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Fang Fighter's a Mandalorian unit, so that
Ooh,
you can do it with that too. And that's probably
that's-
gonna be a card that you're gonna put in your decks in this set.
Hey, yeah. Wow, I hadn't even considered that yet. Seems good. My only concern is, again, just having come out of the last few weeks where the removal is basically, I don't care if you have shields. It's take down, vanquish, power the dark side, super laser blast. It's why the Luke deck, up against Vader at the Florida 5K, it's like, what's the point? It feels like my ability's blank. But that's a very narrow matchup and a very narrow control. So I'm sure the meta will evolve. But
Yeah.
I do think, being able to pass out that many shields, if you can make it against aggro to this turn, like, you're probably just clearing out the units from there.
We do occasionally bring up draft on here, and this is a pretty sick draft card as an uncommon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Very cool card.
Sweet. Awesome. All right. Well, that is all the spoilers that we're going to talk about today. I'm sure tomorrow we're going to see another 15.
A buttload more.
So maybe we'll come at you guys with another spoiler video this week. We'll see what happens if we get enough. But make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that and all the future spoiler videos and all the future Shadows of the Galaxy stuff that we put out. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.